Why, hello, friends. I'm tired, but I'm drawing. So, welcome. Let's start by figuring out where the boxes are gonna go. Somewhere in the middle. Actually, I probably could just do this. I don't know why I've never tried that before. Cosmos, hello. Silver, hello to you also. I need to turn that off, that's why it's not working. Thank you. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. I've also been enjoying it, but also I've been hating it. Like, it's fun, but also it's so much work. Something like this. Why, thank you. I also very much enjoyed the expressions in the last one. It was pretty fun. That's why I'm in such like a love-hate relationship with this whole comic thing, is because it's like, yes, it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of stuff I don't draw very often. Like expressions and situations. Like, the expression that I'm going to give this boy today is going to be fun, I'm sure. Techno Dave, thank you for the follow. What is a snack that would be at a Halloween party? I've still got the world's squeakiest chair. His head is too tall. I can't decide if I want him to have angry eyebrows or those like very nervous eyebrows. Because the rest of the pose is going to be sort of angry. But also welcome, Turnip. I hope everything is going alright. We'll say there's like some some cups and like a beverages. And then like a I don't know, like a bowl of something. I don't know. Say this is like popcorn. I don't know. It's not important. This is all gonna get colored in anyway, like silhouette. I still need to figure out what this is gonna be. Like, what kind of Halloween snack would be at this party. I'll come back to it though. Unless you guys have some ideas for me. And we'll move on to the next one. Let's go with like a meatloaf for a Halloween party snack. It's bold. I don't know if I would have considered meatloaf as a party snack, but I need to erase some of these lines in here because otherwise I'm going to forget the very specific mouth shape that I want. So it needs to come this way. That's too tall. I'll give him the stereotypical bashful anime pose. Bring it down here a little though, because I'm going to need to put some text up here. Something like that. Trying to keep these two panels relatively simple because the third one is where all of my effort's going to be for this one, probably. Oh, have a fun time at work. It's over. I was planning on doing a murder mystery, but then I realized it would have taken a long time to like fully set up a whole mystery. So there might be like a little bit of a tiny mystery in this one, but it's not going to be very long and drawn out or anything. So let's go. Oh, I'll put him. This is even funnier to me. Okay, so. So we want this kind of like that. Oh man, you'll finally get to see his boots now. I was wondering if I'd ever get to draw them. It's happening. I really love these little eyes, but I'm gonna have to give him glasses, otherwise it's not gonna be fully discernible. And his goofy hair is pretty good too, but it's a little too off model. I try to rein it in a little bit when I can. Even though I'm usually not quite accurate. What do his boots look like again? I'll figure that out later. The important thing is that Kai is now sitting on the ground, and Jesse's confused. That's the main takeaway from this panel. It's gonna be bigger. That's probably fine. getting into that like simplified character model style, which is always more fun to draw for me personally. Like the designs are usually more fun because they're more simple. But at the same time, they're usually a huge pain to draw because they're small. That's probably fine. And this one's going to have a really big word bubble, but a very small word. And more of the crowd. I could say something about like, wonder if you guys can figure out what's happening, but I think it might be kind of obvious now. They did that thing that Felix told them not to do, and they got lost. Well, Tank got lost, but that was inevitable. What about pizza? Pizza's a good party food. So it's just a big ol' pizza slice. Yeah. I'm gonna merge all these down now. Trying to be semi-frugal. It's not as good as meatloaf, but you know. Pizza's pretty good, I guess. The irony here, the secret lore, is that Kai actually doesn't eat pizza very much because him and Tank work at a pizza place. But Tank very much enjoys pizza always. Look at this sinister boy. I guess that's true. Kai doesn't like pizza, but DK likes everything. I've started to call Drunk Kai just DK. Because he's like his own separate character at this point. Everyone seems to really enjoy Drunk Kai. Which makes me think maybe he should do it more often, but everything in moderation, you know? just realized you can hear the crickets now because the band has stopped. Where I live is not terribly far from a high school. It's like far though, which is why I'm surprised, because when their band practices, I can hear it. But not like it's loud or anything. Just to the point of like I can hear the drums and the brass section occasionally. Wait, this is too many lines on this side. I think it goes like this. Not terribly rural. Rural juror. It's more suburban. But everything kind of carries with the hills around here, so I think it's just because they like the sound bounces in a weird way. Squeaky chair. I feel like I'm going to point out the chair every time because I'm bothered by it even if you're not. I apologize. Something like that, I think, for those. Another good thing about doing these comics, though, has been... I feel like I mentioned this the last time, but it's been very good for, like, helping me to sort of hone in on what exactly I'm trying to draw for all of these boys. That makes sense? Like it's sort of helped me get a little more confident about like the lines and expressions that I'm drawing, you know? Which has been pretty nice. They're not like demonstrably better, because of course I have less time, but it's been kind of nice to do like really quick and goofier versions of all these boys, I guess. Hills are alive with the sound of band practice, it's true. I was never in the band, but it always seemed like it would be a fun time just based on the people that were in it when I was in school. I almost was. But I was talked out of it. I feel like it probably would have led to a lot more of a different direction, I guess, in my life. Like, I probably would have had less time to draw on stuff. Did not mean to zoom out that far. Took it so you didn't have to take PE. Wise. Wise choice. My school was not big enough for that luxury. So we had to take PE regardless. A good example of what I mean by like doing quicker lines and stuff is the pepperoni on that pizza just now. Like, you guys kind of generally understand these are toppings of some kind, but I'm not trying to be especially particular about getting all of the pepperoni to look exactly like pepperoni. Like, this one's very angular. In fact, I've noticed a lot of the time, if I'm drawing like quickly, my lines tend to get very boxy and angular. Something about it just helps me to go a little bit faster. Because I feel like with curves, I'm constantly like nitpicking about, is this the right way? Do I want this to be some other shape? But with angles, it's a little bit easier to be more direct. He's got to have like a little bit of an eye twitch looking, crazed look for his eyes here. And the eyebrows kind of come down. Eyebrows come down in front of the actual eye itself to really sort of convey the level of rage. But how is everyone doing? I guess now that I'm on this line art portion, I can ask my usual question. How's everybody's weekend? How's your week starting off? Hope it's going well. Pretty good face for this boy. Oh, that's always such a fun time. I'll do this foreground stuff in a minute. Actually, yeah, I'll do it now. Why not? It's literally just gonna be a bunch of shapes. We'll say this is a thing. Oh yeah, the internet thing. I'm not sure if it's the one that I had for a while that is just the worst to deal with. But they own so much of the country that it's like, oh no, that was far too much of that color. They have so much like control over the country that like on the East Coast it's one and on the West Coast it's another one, but they're both effectively the same thing, where they're just sort of not very fun to deal with like at all. I'll put one here. But the one on the East Coast that I had is sometimes also the one on the West Coast. But I know on the West Coast, in some spots, it's a different one. I'm being very vague about this for some reason. I think it's because you were vague in your tweet, so I feel like I need to be vague. But yeah, ISPs are a huge pain. Especially when they come bundled with like other packages that you don't use or need. Alright, so this is all fine for this one. I'll probably end up flattening all these layers in a minute, but for now, you just didn't want any bots to follow you. I understand. You could do that thing that people do where they just sort of unnecessarily censor like a letter in a word. That's always fun. Because then it's like a fun mystery. It's like, oh, did they mean this or this other thing? That word could be anything. Oh. I think it's so silly that that is a thing that people understand as a necessity, though, because bots exist. Too far. that is a different one than the one that I have, like, horrible PTSD from. But it is equally bad. I just haven't had as many terrible dealings with them. Wait. Actually, I don't remember. I, like, blocked the memory from my mind. Because I used to have Comcast, and in the area where I am, they are not a super friendly experience. But I don't remember if they have Xfinity also. So many, like, random mergers and acquisitions, it's kind of hard to keep track of people. But also I don't care, so I'm just okay with the one that I have now, and that's fine. I didn't close the shape. I'm gonna have to come back to his glasses on this layer later. Oh, okay. I thought that might have been the case, but I was not 100% sure. Because, yeah, it was a painful, painful time. Though I do have to thank them because their experience in, like, getting people to come deal with things was such a pain that it, like, forced me to learn how to do it myself. So that I only ever had to call them when absolutely necessary. So in that respect, I guess it's a good thing. Number one service. Don't really have any rhyme or reason to these wrinkles. They are always different. It's a little too big, though. Oh, that was a line. Alright, so we want this arm to come up this way. That's fine. I was trying to not increase the size of this brush for as long as I could, but at this point, I must. Nick, hello. Welcome. A fun thing I've noticed about Jesse is that when I have to draw him a lot, like I have been with this comic, the more often I draw him, the bigger his eyes get and the smaller his glasses get. I think it's because I prefer to show his expression with his eyes as opposed to like those characters that you only ever see like their eyes as framed by their glasses, you know? So whenever like the character has a goofy expression, it's their glasses that change shape and not so much their eyes. And for some reason it's more fun for me if that is not the case with Jesse. So his eyes are what changes, and his glasses tend to get really small so you can see his eyes do goofy things. Sometimes I hit the zoom out thing and it zooms me all the way out, and that's not what I want, but that's fine. Good enough. I'm gonna keep this separate, but I am gonna merge these layers. Okay, so now for this fun layer. I don't know if there's a, like, term for this technique. But I do enjoy it very much. That thing of like where, I guess, I always just assumed that like only applied to anime specifically. And it was like a particular style of anime, but I guess that is what it is. I don't like that pinky. But yeah, I know it's like a thing that has been done in like... I guess my confusion comes from the fact that I don't know if there's a term for it with like Western cartoons, where I've seen this sort of thing done a little more frequently, but I'm not sure if that's just my, like, having a more clear memory of it. Or something like that, you know? But it is essentially a chibi thing, where when a character is like very far away, you simplify their design like a whole lot. So you can sort of convey things like expression and whatnot, without really getting too bogged down with like not like unnecessary or unimportant details, but like less important details for the character to read in the way that you want. That seems fine. I don't know if I need that there, but I'm going to put it there. Super deformed? I have not heard that term. I don't know how I want this hand to be. That actually wasn't that bad. Look at this boy. What a precious child. He needs to be even smaller, though. Wait, I forgot a thing. I'm debating on if I want to do his belt or not. I don't think I do. But now I have to Google what Todoroki's boots look like. The only real important detail for these, I guess, is this. So that's all I'm going to do. There are more important details there, but that's not what I'm concerned about. Could do more of his belt. I don't think I will, though. You guys get the idea. It's a belt. Kai with the cat face has become one of my favorite things to draw. I don't need his thumb here, I think. Thought I might do some wrinkles for Kai's sleeves, but I decided I don't want to. Ah. I'm currently like... So the way that I usually make goofy purchases for things is that I spend far too much time like researching the thing before I buy it. So my current thing of those is my phone and phone-related accessories because my phone is due to upgrade. But I say all that to say, as soon as that is done, I will begin to research a, like, not squeaky chair. Because I am hyper aware of it now, and it is extraordinarily upsetting. Jeez, this is just so cute. He's gonna have little sneakers on. He's got like Sonic the Hedgehog shoes right now. Thought I could maybe save myself some erasing here by continuing that line for the soles of his shoes, but surprise, surprise, it was a tangent. I say it that way because it's very much not a surprise. Good enough. Am I forgetting something? I am. It is this tattoo on this leg. To match the one on his other leg. This leg feels small. Good enough. So now I think what I want to try is this. Just kind of see how this goes. That's too far down. I don't want that to be that far down. Okay. So we want this to be a dramatic little shadow. But it will be hard to see the silhouette of these boys. So I'm gonna try and keep this as consistent as I can around them. so that when I fill this, well, it's already filled with black, it's just turned down. So when I turn the opacity back up, it doesn't read as all one shape. Like that. Yeah. So unlike the other layers, I'm going to draw some crowd-ish shapes. So that when I actually do draw the crowd, it'll be a little more obvious. Oh, that's right, I need to do the effects layer. Do one more like down here. That's probably fine. I didn't save these colors, and even though I keep coming back to them, I honestly need to just save them somewhere. But I just keep coming back to the day before. This, like, not quite black and not quite gray. And we can make this a little bigger. Love how noodly his speech bubbles are. I'm glad that you like them. They're a lot of fun. I sort of was like debating for a long time how I wanted to handle Kai's speech. And that was the method that I decided upon. Mostly because the other, like, part of it is that his, Kai's text is all hand lettered, and the letters, like, alternate the baseline. So, like, one is high and one is low, and it goes back and forth. So doing it in, like, regular bubbles felt weird. What layer is this? What is this? Why are you here? I'm not sure, so that's gonna be color now. I've also sort of honed in on a... Oh, I didn't even finish this line. Honed in on a sort of process that I Wow, that was definitely not the right size at all. Process that I don't like super hate for doing color stuff for this. Color in quotes, because it's not really color, but you get the idea. But the process that I've sort of landed on has been to go from the darkest color to the lightest color. So like reverse reverse watercolor style. Is oil the one that you do? Dark to light? There's a medium that's supposed to go from dark to light, but I can't remember what it is. Don't forget this part. But yeah, so that's been my my technique for filling in the grayscale stuff. So far it has saved me a little time. I'm going to turn that off for now because it's hard to distinguish between the colors. Unfortunately, though, Kai does not have any noodly bubbles today. Well, unfortunately for us, fortunate for Jesse. I'm just gonna fill that in manually. I can't remember if I think I made these this color. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. I guess we'll say this is the color of pepperoni as well. But since I know I'm going to use a lighter color and go over this layer later anyway, I'm not being super duper precious about the staying in the lines in some spots. Because I know I'm just going to cover it up again later. Oh, the other thing I've learned to do, which I've kind of been doing for like most, if not this whole time, but I never really explained it on stream, is while I'm doing the sketching, I sketch out where I'm going to put the borders of the panels, like I have here, but I turn it down in the opacity, and then leave it turned down for a while. My reason for this is that I make sure that as I'm drawing and filling in colors and stuff, that I'm constantly making sure to end the shape somewhere in the middle of this line so that I can fill it in a little more easily, since I know that I'm going to fill the whole thing with white at the very end anyway. It saves me a little bit of a headache as far as like making sure that my lines are connected or making sure that my outlines go as far as I need them to, that sort of thing. I don't know if that's the way that most folks do it when they make comics and stuff, but for me, I've learned to save time with this method. This whole thing is this color. I don't know why I'm being so exact over there in that section. But like now, I'm very careful that I don't want any of that color outside of this boy, so I have to slow down a little for these lines. Whereas for all that stuff in there, I could just kind of do whatever, and it would be fine. Every day I make one of these things, I'm like, oh, this is definitely the most adorable thing I've drawn so far, for sure. This will be the most adorable page. And then I go and do something like this, and then it's like, oh man, move over yesterday's page. You got a new sheriff in town. This one's got little friends in it. Wow. Oh wait, I guess I didn't need to fill that in, huh? Oh well. Unfortunately, since I resized this, the lines are a little less than ideal in terms of like pixelating and stuff. That might be a thing that they fixed with their like most recent update that came out, I'm not sure. I know it lets you draw on 3D shapes now though, so that's neat. I don't know when I'll ever have a reason to use that though, unfortunately. We'll say his shoes are this color as well. Because why not? We'll see. We'll see what happens. If I don't like it, I can always change it later. That's the good thing about homemade costumes like Kai's, is they don't really have to be any particular way. Unlike with Jesse's, where if it's like not quite the right color, it doesn't really make sense. Or at least it doesn't make as much sense, I should say. Good enough. Yeah, that's fine. Next one. Oops. Okay, so nothing on Jesse is this color. Okay, eating pizza as an emote. I might have to like redo this just for that, because unfortunately it's a little too small. If it was an emote, I would want it to be a little more clearly defined. I think that's it. Yeah. Next color. Let me double check on this. Kai's, yeah, okay. I had to make sure Kai's suit was this color. Oh, I guess I do need to turn that background back on now. But I will turn off this one so I can more clearly see what I'm doing. We'll say this is the color of the pizza crust. Oh, it's also the same color as his skin tone, though. I don't want this to read as another finger, but it's going to, unfortunately. But if I make the pizza crust darker, it'll look burnt, and if I make it lighter, it won't really look like pizza crust. Plus, I still have to put the cheese on it, so it needs to be darker than the cheese. Add a bit of shadow. I would, but then it will look weird, because it'll be the only thing that has any values on it that are not just flat, you know? Like, it'll be the only thing that has a shadow to it. Or it'll be the only, like, one color thing. So it'll stand out a little awkwardly. I'm going to cover all of this up later, so I'm not super worried about his hair. At least everything to the right of this one. Or his right, the viewer's left. I think I made his belt this color as well. Oh, but that's right, this needs to come all the way through. On here. I'm like 90% certain that his belt is no longer like fully accurate. I think it started that way at one point, but I'm pretty sure the middle does not look fully like this, but this is the way I've been drawing it, so it's fine. Rose, hello, welcome. I hope all is well. Jinx. Yeah, it's a good one. Lots of really good frames in this one today. I felt the same way about yesterday, but there's a lot of fun ones in this one as well. Some general goofiness. Oh, I hope the rehearsal's going well then. felt dumb and walked around a bunch. I mean, that's how I feel like generally anytime I leave the house. So, if you were able to confine that to just that one particular segment of time, I'd say you're doing pretty well. But what do I know? I am but a humble drawsman. Toiling away at the art mines to bring goofy boys. You can tag out with Jinx. Thank you for stopping by. I hope your dinner is delicious. It's mostly done, Turnip, but you'll see it online. Have a good evening. Thanks again for hanging out. Wait. Yeah, okay, that was correct. I forgot that I had another color after this. Ooh. Scared myself there for a minute. Okay. Last one. I feel like everybody can relate to Kai just out here, mega drunk, chowing down on pizza, sitting on the floor, in a cat onesie. It sounds very specific, but it's honestly like quite a relatable mood. He's just the coziest boy. He specifically made a costume that would be as comfortable as possible because he foresaw this happening. So he was like, what if I just took this cat onesie and stuck some fish stuff on it? And then blam, catfish. Genius. Went to the party with one thing in mind. It's true. He'll sober up though. Kai's level of intensity and toxicity is very much based on a friend of mine I had in college who would get like destroyed at the beginning of the party, but then be like the first to sober up by the time everyone's ready to go home. It was very impressive, actually. They would simultaneously be the person everyone had to babysit, but also the person who babysat everyone else in the same evening. It's usually pretty funny. So something similar is going to happen with Kai. I've just realized I don't want to pull that color where I did. There we go. Are there any other details for Kai that are this color? I don't think so. Also relate. Who would have thunk drunk Kai was all it took to become the most relatable? I've needed to stretch for like 10 minutes, and I'm trying so hard, or I was trying so hard not to, because I didn't want the chair to squeak. It squeaks every time I move. So I have to treat it like Jurassic Park or whatever. The T-Rex. This right here is very... Oh, you can't really see it when I'm that far away, but this... I don't know why you can only really see it when I zoom in and stop. You'll see it better when it's done, but I promise you there are two little white things here for, like, nervous sweat effect. But that's why his hair is like a very, very light gray and not like a pure white, so I can get away with doing stuff like that and still have it read well. Because if his hair was pure white, like it kind of sort of is for the show, you wouldn't really be able to see those sorts of things on top. Chaos Goblin drunk. Yes. The chaotic good drunk. I've been reading about, there are some new, like, D&D races and classes or something. I think it might just be races, but I've been reading about them lately. It's been making me want to make a D&D character. I'm currently playing a game with my friends, and one of my friends just died. So I feel like I probably shouldn't kill my character intentionally, just so I can make a new one. Feels a little too soon. Plus the character I have now is pretty good. Oh, jeez. It's like I know there's something over here I need to make this color. Pour one out. Yeah, it's true. I forgot to color in his leg on that side. This song has a start to it. Goodness. Kind of here for it though. But yeah, it was funny because it's like the voice of reason character, essentially. And he just wanted to do something that looked really cool, and it ended up killing him instantly because he rolled bad. So the rest of the party was like, we don't know what to do. Knowing things was never what we did. That was this dude's plan. We just went along with it. So for the rest of the time we were trying to figure out like, so let's do this and this. The funniest part about it was that it wasn't like a particular enemy or something. He just like fell off a cliff on his own. So there isn't like any sort of vengeance or motivational aspect to it for the rest of us. It was just like, don't jump off a cliff, I guess. Okay, so now we can start doing text things. I'm gonna start here. I lied, no I'm not. I'm gonna start with the actual words because of course I am. That just makes more sense. I can bring this down here. Do that, and I'll turn that off while I'm here. Add text. Murder the cliff. How do I want him to say this? I'm unsure. Let's say it like this. So let's see. I may not even have enough space for all of this. 45 is what I was working with. Oh, I do have enough space. Okay, cool. Still want to change that leading a little. It's always so far away. Oops. Let's say it's like a nervous laugh that comes slightly later. Even though it's the same person speaking, breaking up your text in this way can help to signify that there's like a longer pause between, like a slight pause between the two words. Similarly, I'm going to do something here where we have one small word, but it's going to be in a larger balloon, sort of like add to the effect of being very small in a large crowd kind of vibes. The jump off the cliff was prompted by trying to catch someone who was at the bottom of the cliff. Like we were on a mountain pass chasing some people who stole a thing, and we happened to like fight a bunch of them at the top of this cliff. But it was like a bunch of the lackeys, like the henchmen, and they were like, oh yeah, well they already have the thing you're after and they went this way. So we're like, okay, we gotta go catch them before they get away. And then we like crested the mountain or whatever, and then saw them like at the bottom of it, about to like get on some like dog sled type deals and run away from us. So this person was like, I'm gonna try a thing. So their plan was to like jump off the cliff and then like before falling all the way to their death, they were gonna like use a little misty step situation to jump to a slightly closer, less lethal position. But then they rolled quite bad. And missed what they were jumping to and just fell and died. It was funny because the DM was like really trying to talk us out of letting him do this. But he was like, no, I understand. I'll probably die, but if I don't, it'll be really, really cool. And to his credit, it would have been quite cool. Trip on a rock and fall to your death. It was not that comedic. Well, that unfortunate, I guess I'll say. There was a natural one involved. But also he had like exhaustion levels from like the day before. So his rolls were still, like his rolls weren't great, but they were definitely not good after being exhausted. You could do it that way, Rose, depending on like if you have a reason to leave, you could have your character die or whatever. But most people just make a new character, which is what this friend is going to do. He's already got like 2 or 3 others in mind, so he has to just pick one. I think I want to put like a little just to sort of even further separate them from the crowd. And I guess there would be like a table back here, so I'll draw that, I guess. It's got some stuff on it. That's fine. None of this is incredibly important. I'm just gonna end up turning this down in a second. Opacity, I mean. Oh, that's too big. Yeah. We done it. Oh, I have to sign this still. We'll do it on this layer. That's too big. Yeah. That seems good enough. Wasn't nearly as much detail as the last one, but I don't ever want to do that much detail for the one I did the last stream. Because it was a lot. Or at least it felt like a lot. So this will be the end of this one. We managed to go another day doing a page of a comic. A thing I didn't intend to do when I started this month. I intended to just do like a panel a day. And yet here we are, 11 pages in or whatever. Thank you all for hanging out and stuff. I am so very honored and glad that you stopped by to chill out and stuff. I think I just said and stuff twice. That's not important. What is important is that I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. As always, you can find all these drawings in their finished states on Twitter and Instagram. You can see my name right under the little talking friend on the bottom right of your screen. Wow. How convenient. But anyways, yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Go and do something super nice for somebody. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, this has been bothering me, and I couldn't figure out why, and now I remember why. And that's because this is the wrong color. I'm just gonna do it here now, and not make it its own layer, because this is gonna be easier. Couldn't figure out why his face looked weird, and this was why. I ran into the same problem with Tank the other day, and it was because I forgot some of his costume. Only one person called me out on it. So I fixed it for me personally, but it is still posted with the incorrect colors. So maybe at the end of this whole thing, I'll put a thing together where like everything is the color it's supposed to be and stuff, because there were a couple other things like that on some other days that I messed up as well. Anyways, now we're done, actually. So yeah, go and, oh, come on. Go and do something nice for somebody, you know? Have a wonderful week and stuff. And hopefully I will be back Wednesday. We'll see. I don't know. So if I don't see you then, I'll see you sometime, probably. So until the next time I see you, goodbye, I guess. I really need to come up with like a clever way to end these streams. I feel like I say that every other time at least. But today is not the day that I have something prepared. So goodbye.